Hey Instagrammers, Paul here from videoactive.ca, and today we're going to talk about the day that my buddy John Barry and I met a musician, writer, producer, Nick Lowe.
He's a legend, Paul.
Yeah.
Nicholas Drain Lowe, born in Surrey, England, best known for endurance-tested pop songs like Cruel to Be Kind, I Love the Sound of Breaking Glass, and
What's So Funny About Peace, Love and Understanding, which is an anthem, but everybody thinks that Elvis Costello wrote that.
Nick began making music in the late 60s England with roots band Kippington Lodge, which later morphed into the equally hard-to-pronounce Brinsley Schwarz.
They should have been the leaders of the pub rock movement.
But plans were humiliatingly scuttled by a poorly conceived Fillmore East show in New York City for industry insiders. Brinsley Schwarz returned to the UK laughingstocks. Unabated, Nick rolled up his sleeves, helped form Stiff Records, and produced other artists like The Damned, Graham Parker, and burgeoning wonderkind Elvis Costello.
I was supposedly the mentor when we started, but by the end of it, it was, yes, Mr. Costello. Yeah, you're right, Mr. Costello.
Also, Nick joined forces with Welsh rocker Dave Edmunds to form Rockpile.
That huge stadium rock stuff. Well, our stuff just sounds rubbish in those places.
Well,
anyway.
what about the Heatwave Festival?
Well, that was different.
Well, they gave us a lot of money.
There was a substantial check involved.
Nick's 1979 solo album Labour of Lust was a smash hit, and it went gold in Canada. As the 70s waned, Nick was determined, in his own words, to escape the tyranny of the snare drum, meaning he wanted out of the fickle pop music scene to explore his muse, a more mature, traditionalist style. But it being the modern computer-generated music scene of the 1980s, the residual checks decreased, and the drinking increased.
His connection to Johnny Cash, The Beast in Me.
The Beast in Me, yeah.
Johnny said, well, let me hear the song. He played it, and there was like an awkward silence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Johnny said, that's a great song.
Finally, relief arrived in the form of a brand new cover version of Peace, Love and Understanding, recorded by British soul jazz singer Curtis Stigers. Curtis Stigers has since reached out to inform us that he is indeed not British at all. But why let the facts get in the way of a good story? He is an American soul jazz singer, and you can follow American soul jazz singer Curtis Stigers on Instagram at the Curtis Stigers. His new album, This Life, is available on all platforms. We sincerely apologize for the lazy journalism. The song appeared on the multi-platinum selling soundtrack to the Kevin Costner, Whitney Houston blockbuster, The Bodyguard. Hardly rock and roll, but really, who cares? The money rolled in, Hollywood style. Having cleaned up his act, Nick was revived by fresh possibilities and began a stunning string of recordings, unreliant upon their chart position.
He was born to do it, and it was just even being at some of those shows with you. I remember standing there so many times, and I would say, what record's this from? He made me go down those beautiful rabbit holes.
So I skipped north to Canada.
Here's one of the lyrics. Lately I've let things slide.
Yeah, which is a fantastic song.
That untouched takeaway I brought home the other day has quite a lot to say. The evidence is clear on every side, piled high and wide.
About how lately I let things slide.
Isn't that great?
It's poetry.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he lived that.
Fans and musicians alike began to take notice of a new and improved Nick Lowe. And, as we all know, everyone loves a comeback.
And let's get to the night we met him.
Okay. He booked 2 shows at the Horseshoe Tavern. It's a legendary bar in Toronto. The show, now do you want to talk about the show a bit? Because it was really standout.
It was. His band had Mexican wrestling masks on. You couldn't see their face.
And wasn't the band really good?
They
I mean,
were
they weren't
rocking.
just there for the visuals. They were like tight band.
Tight band, and you could tell that they had been on the road for a while. He's kind of like this Svengali up front.
But the clock on the wall says it's time to go. All the things must go. And, well, I don't need to decide because the new legislation, the anti-encore laws, don't come in until the end of the year. So
We had the warm and fuzzy feelings about this show, and then it was like, okay, now down to business.
There was rumors that he was going to walk out the front.
Yeah.
And then I said, remember, let's go run around the back. And one of the bouncers was out back having a cigarette. You probably won't see him coming out the back.
And you don't know who to believe, right?
No, you don't at that point. And then we went back in. There was a fellow by the curtain that was closed who was guarding that. I told him it was your birthday. And
Which he probably hears all the time.
Yeah, we're going to wait. And I just kept making eye contact with this guy until at one point he winked.
This might happen.
This is going to happen, I think.
Now, do you remember what you said? Because I'll never forget.
Oh, when he came out.
When he came out.
Yeah, I said, oh, here he is, the man himself.
I mean, it was like, here's the man.
I think I was overtaken by the mood at that point. My arms around his shoulder like we've known each other for a while, which is ridiculous.
And here's the cool thing. It's like days before I was thinking about what would the perfect scenario look like. That's it. And that doesn't happen often.
Yeah. That's one of those nights you won't forget.
I owe a lot to you because I know myself I don't have whatever it takes to just push through that wall. I thank you so much.
No, it meant something to both of us, but I knew it really meant something to you. But can you imagine if it had gone the other way? We wouldn't be here right now.
I wouldn't be telling you this story. I would not be proud about it. So what happened after meeting Nick and we left the bar?
We went and had Chinese food.
Yeah.
As you do. But we were still basking in the glow of Nick.
If I was a smoker, I would have been smoking. You can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Or email me at videoactive.paul@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.